Hello, my name is Dr. Szilard Voros. I am the founder and chief executive officer for G3 Therapeutics. G3 Therapeutics is a biotechnology company, and over the past 7 years, we have been working on life-saving therapies for people. Of course, over the past few weeks, we have turned our attention to the coronavirus in this very devastating pandemic. We are specifically focusing on understanding some factors that are within our human body and how the virus itself is hijacking our own proteins, our own body to get inside the cell. And we are learning a lot. We're learning a lot how this virus changed and evolved, and now we understand how it is getting into our bodies, and we're using that information to try to come up with treatments. If you remember, we had the SARS virus back in 2002, 2003, and the SARS original virus used the very same protein on our human cells called the ACE2 protein. And the virus would come, bind to the ACE2 protein, a second protein would come and cleave this entire complex, and the virus would get inside the cells. Now, what we are learning now, and the fascinating and very insightful paper was recently published by Dr. Christian Anderson from Scripps Institute, and their data is very consistent to our own data at G3 Therapeutics, is that what appears to have happened is that the virus had two different mutations or changes in the genetic code. On the one hand, it appears that while the virus was in pangolins, probably potentially in bats, the surface that binds to the human protein got bigger. So now when the virus infected people in China in end of November, early December, that binding surface was much larger, a much more efficient binding, and that is probably why we see that it's so infectious. And then it appears that at that point the virus actually, after that mutation, jumped into humans, and the second mutation occurred, which is sort of an insertion of some new letters in the genetic code, like as if somebody wrote an extra sentence, and that changed the entire virus, and now it is so much more dangerous for humans. So that's the bad news. The good news is that we now understand those details. We're starting to understand the structural changes, and we can leverage those changes and those insights now to work on therapies that hopefully can stop this really devastating viral pandemic.